Hello again. Today I'm coming to you with another book haul. This will be the last June book haul I'm going to be doing. I've decided to combine two book hauls that I have, my hardcover horror books and my miscellaneous in one video. These are all the books I'm going to be covering in this book haul. So let's start with the horror books. First one I'm going to talk about is Carol Kepnes' You. I've heard so much about this story. I guess it's more of a thriller type of story, but I have heard so much about this story online on BookTube that I finally decided to pick it up. So we'll see if I like it or not. Next one I actually already own, but I picked up in Second & Charles, which is the hardcover version of the Bachman books. I own the paperback version, but this one was only $7 at Second & Charles, and I know that this is very hard to get now, especially in this pretty nice condition. It was only for $7. You have to pay like $40 to get it on Amazon used, since he doesn't make the Rage anymore in his Bachman books. So I decided to pick that up. And speaking of Stephen King, I picked up End of Watch. This is the third book in the trilogy that started with Mr. Mercedes and Finders Keepers. I've read both Mr. Mercedes and Finders Keepers, but haven't read End of Watch. I've heard that there is a spoiler in The Outsiders for this series, so I decided I might as well read End of Watch before I read The Outsiders, which is why I picked this up. I like both books, Mercedes and Finders Keepers, so I should enjoy this one. This was a free Second & Charles book in the free bin. This is another John Ferris book, Son of the Endless Night. I don't even know what this is about. Let's see. Not since The Exorcist has there been such a powerful novel of demonic possession as Sons of the Endless Night. Perhaps never has there been a novel that so wed supernatural horror with human weakness as to make the two inextricably one. An apparent senseless slaying at a Vermont ski resort is revealed as the overturn to a symphony of evil, in which a young man's mind and soul are held ransom by Zarak Tog, a millennial-old spirit. Zarak's object, a trial between the forces of darkness and light, to be held in a Vermont courtroom as part of a young man's murder trial. The forces of evil are well armed with weapons of sensuality, division, and horrible death. The force of good seems relatively ill-suited for their contest. The brother of the accused, a failed priest turned professional wrestler, a black priest, a former pro basketball player, specializing in ancient languages and exorcisms, an itinerant fundamentalist preacher, and his girlfriend, and a retired barrister who lives on a secluded sunny island with a community that devotes itself to the worship of light and the expulsion of darkness. These leading figures and dozens of others meet the challenge in a climactic confrontation that will leave no reader unmoved. And this is the book club edition, so it sounds really interesting, and it was free, so can't go wrong there. And the last horror book is, well, the last of this hardback horror collection is The Book of Vampires, which is a bunch of vampire stories. It was $4 at Second & Charles. It's a pretty thick book. It's like 500 pages. There's stories here by Clive Barker, Brian Lumley, Robert Bloch. There's an Edgar Allan Poe story here. There's actually a Bram Stoker story here as well. Nancy Holder has a story here. Kim Newman has a story here. Neil Gaiman has a story here. So there's a bunch of good authors in this. So I'm looking forward to it. It's called The Book of Vampires. Now let's get on to my miscellaneous books. I saw this for $1 at Second & Charles. It is Killswitch. Looks like a military sci-fi story. And for $1, I said let me give it a shot and I'll see if I like it. I have no idea. I've never read this author or this series before, so I have no idea how good it is, but I decided to give it a try. So it's called Killswitch, a Cassandra Kretznov novel. This was another $1 book, which is Iron Man Virus. So this is one of the Marvel novellas for Iron Man. This is one of the Marvel novels that feature Iron Man. I never read this. And again, for $1, I figured I might as well give it a shot. So we'll see how good it is. This book, I've heard mixed reviews on Goodreads and around, But when I heard the story concept and who wrote it, I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So this is actually a Mary Shelley book. That's not Frankenstein. This is called Mary Shelley's The Last Man. So what it says here on the back of the book is Mary Shelley wrote The Last Man 8 years after Frankenstein on returning to England from Italy after her husband Percy's death. It is the 21st century and England is a republic governed by a ruling elite, one of whom, Adrian, Earl of Windsor, has introduced a Cumbrian boy to the circle. This outsider, Lionel Verney, narrates a tale of complicated tragic love and of the gradual extermination of the human race by plague. The Last Man also functions as an intriguing Roman clef, I'm saying that horrible, I bet, for the saintly Adrian. In a monument to Percy Shelley and his friend Lord Raymond is a portrait of Byron. This novel offers a vision of the future that expresses a reaction against romanticism as Shelley demonstrates the failure of the imagination and of art to redeem her doomed characters. It's basically a story of the future written by the author of Frankenstein that I didn't know about, that I've heard some mixed reviews on, but I was kind of curious and I decided to pick it up. So it is, again, Mary Shelley's The Last Man. Next book I've heard a lot on BookTube about as well. This is City of Brass. Nari has never believed in magic. Certainly she has power on the streets of 18th century Cairo. She's a con woman of unsurpassed talent, but she knows better than anyone that the trade she uses to get by, palm reading, czars, and a mysterious gift for healing, are all tricks, both the means to the delightful end of swindling Ottoman nobles and a reliable way to survive. But when Nari accidentally summons Dara, a equally shy, darkly mysterious jinn warrior, to her side during one of her cons, she's forced to reconsider her beliefs. For Daria tells Nari an extraordinary tale across hot, wind-swept sands, teeming with creatures of fire and rivers where the mythical Merid sleep past ruins of once magnificent human metropolises and mountains where the circling birds of prey are more than what they seem, lies Davabad, the legendary city of brass, a city to which Nari is irrevocably bound. In Davabad, within gilded brass walls laced with enchantments, and behind the 6 gates of the 6 Jinn tribes, old resentments run deep, and when Nari decides to enter this world, her arrival threatens to ignite a war that has been simmering for centuries. Spurring Dara's warning of the treachery surrounding her, she embarks on a hesitant friendship with Alizad. God, wouldn't he? She embarks on a hesitant friendship with Alizad, an idealistic prince who dreams of revolutionizing his father's corrupt regime. All too soon, Nari learns that true power is fierce and brutal, that magic cannot shield her from the dangerous web of court politics, that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. After all, there is a reason, they say, to be careful what you wish for. So I probably butchered a lot of those names in that description, but it does sound really interesting. So this is City of Brass. And the last book I picked up was a graphic novel, which I don't think I've highlighted on this channel before. Any graphic novels, that is. This is called My Favorite Thing is Monsters. And for some people that I've seen highlight this book, the artwork looks amazing. If you can see it really quickly here. See how quick? Quick. It is some amazing artwork. I don't know how well it comes in, but just trust me on here. I really loved seeing this artwork. And let me read the description here. Once you enter Emil Ferris's spectacular, eye-popping magnus opus, there is no turning back. Her werewolf girl protagonist, spiral-bound school notebook is a visual phantasmagoria of neural pathway altering proportions through Noir Chicago streetscapes. A freakish but lovely cross-hatched cast of characters meticulously envision covers of horror comics and all-around virtuoso drawing chops. The heroine unravels a Baroque mystery whose plot pulls you forward as inconsistently as the images demand that you linger. This is a monster of a book, in the best possible way. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Again, my first graphic novel that I have covered on this channel, and it is a pretty big one, but it sounds really good. I am looking forward to reading this. That is my favorite thing, is monsters. And those are all the books I'm covering for this book haul. Those are all the books I have covered now for June. So I am done with my June book haul. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.